Borderlands is out in theaters, adaptation of a popular video game which I have played and loved a good couple of years ago when it first came out. Directed by Eli Roth, starring Cate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, Edgar Ramirez, Jamie Lee Curtis, Ariana Greenblatt, Florian Munteanu, and the voice of Jack Black. It was filmed all the way back in 2021, with the first cut ready already in 2022. Apparently that first cut scared the studio because it was extremely violent and bloody, which would have warranted an R rating. So the movie went through a lot of retooling, reshoots, recuts, to the point that it even required a completely new score written by a different composer because the old one no longer fit. Now it's out, and I'm gonna be very upfront. It's a terrible adaptation and somehow an even worse film. Soulless, hollow, unfunny, boring, just dreadful all the way through. The story takes place on the planet Pandora, where actually I'm just gonna skip that. The story is generic anyway. I'm just gonna jump straight into the criticism, and there's a lot of it. Starting with the casting, which was baffling from the moment it was first announced. I mean, Cate Blanchett plays Lilith, who in the games is a young, energetic character, and she looks too old, and she just looks baffled that she's in this film. Kevin Hart plays Roland, who's supposed to be this tall, physically imposing, stoic and cool mercenary. Guess how that works. Edgar Ramirez is boring and forgettable as the villain. Ariana Greenblatt is cringe and annoying as shit as Tina. It's just none of it fits. None of the people fit the characters they're supposed to be playing. The story is awful and uninspired, and the way it moves forward is just completely bland and nonsensical. Things happen because the screenwriters need them to happen. Why does this ragtag group of heroes form in the first place? They're looking for the vault filled with ancient civilization treasure, but none of them really have a reason to do so. And for some of them, it's kind of even the opposite of what they would want to be doing. When Lilith joins the group, for instance, her goals are completely opposite from everyone else's. Why do they take her in? And why does she join in? Why do they not leave Claptrap behind if, from the character's point of view, he serves no purpose and he's just annoying and they don't really know why he's hanging along? Why is there a big celebration at the end of the film in the city, as if the heroes have achieved something that really changes the lives of these people, but they haven't. There is a big plot twist in Act 3, which isn't really a plot twist at all, because if you've played any of the games, it's like one of the most basic lore points, and if you haven't, it's still predictable from the incredibly obvious foreshadowing, and then the reveal just replays all of those foreshadowing scenes for you. The movie treats the audience like morons. The dialogue is horrible, the way the exposition is delivered is like a hammer on the head. There's even some voiceover narration scenes with Cate Blanchett explaining exactly what is happening on screen at that very moment. The characters have no chemistry with one another whatsoever, and there's no reason to care about any of them. The action is bland. The good guys just shoot some guns and the bad guys just fall down. There's no weight to it all. There's no impact, no blood, no real sense of violence. The special effects feel dated and not very well done. The costumes and hairstyles look cheap. It's just, all of it is so much nothing. Some movies are bad because they try to do something specific or ambitious and they fail. Borderlands feels like it's not trying to do anything at all. It's a big bag of nothing, pretending to be a summer blockbuster. Look, even thinking about the concept of adapting this particular game seems like a bad idea, because it doesn't really have a great story to adapt. It's kind of generic. The strengths of the game were as follows: great visual design, which utilized stylized comic book-like graphics, and that is gone since this is a live-action film. Great system of randomly generated weapons, which you would frequently exchange and update throughout the game, and other types of loot. That obviously does not exist in the movie at all. And numerous side quests with wacky, humorous characters, but with a very particular style of humor. One which is always sort of right there on the thin edge of being too stupid to be funny, but somehow still working. And in the movie, it goes too far. It doesn't work at all. The jokes do not land. Especially, there's a scene with Claptrap shitting out bullets. And that was the quietest movie theater reaction to a joke I probably ever experienced. Nobody laughed. I felt embarrassed to be there. I tried to think about what I liked about the film, and I can't really point to a single thing. It's garbage, top to bottom. And audiences seem to have caught on to that pretty quickly, because the film made something around $8 million on its opening weekend in the US, which is just abysmal for a movie like this. Stay away from this one, guys, even more so if you're a fan of the games.